This is the What If Podcast.
Welcome to the What If Podcast. I am Ryan. Oh, dude, come on.
And I'm Spencer Worth Davis.
And
this is the What If Podcast.
Oh, man.
With us today.
Sorry, please bear with us.
Oh, Jesus.
No!
We've got our good pal Eric Mayson with us.
Hello.
What's happening, dude?
I'm looking at pictures of bear maulings.
Yikes.
And the reason that I fell apart in like 7 words of that introduction was because I was unexpectedly shown a picture of a bear attack is what I'm going to say. A picture of a bear attack. What? Easy. That's what happened.
So today's question is, what if you were attacked by a bear?
What if you were attacked by a bear? And and this is not a super frequent thing that happens, but it's frequent enough.
I would say any amount is too frequent.
It's a frequent fear. It's
true.
It's a commonplace fear.
Sure.
And one might argue it is one of the. I mean, things that are above you in the food chain is one of the reasons we have fear.
Yes.
In general.
Agreed.
It's one of the reasons we're afraid of the dark.
Sure.
Great point.
It's just that like the actual per capita number of bear attacks in North America is not that high, but it's high enough, as you said, Spencer.
If it's at all possible, it's going to be a fear, though. Like,
yes.
You can't rationalize, well, I'm probably not going to get attacked by a bear, because if you do, it's game over. Like, there's not...
You should do everything you can to not be attacked by a bear.
I have something later in the podcast that I'm going to bring up that is a national parks campaign that they did related to bear attacks that is A, terrifying, and B, fucking kind of hilarious. That is related to this exact concept.
So, speaking of national parks.
Yes, sir.
One of the reasons we initially started talking about this topic was...
this horrifying topic.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I was recently in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Well, you were in more than Fairbanks too, right? You were traveling Alaska. Was that what happened?
Right. This story takes place in Fairbanks, but yeah, I was
the bear capital of the USA.
I was in a few different places throughout Alaska.
Sure.
I was in Fairbanks and was at a bar and started talking to this dude at the table next to me, and I just asked him, like, we were talking, and most of the people I'd met to that point in Alaska either were not native to Alaska or would like spend summers in Alaska and then be somewhere else the rest of the year.
Right.
This dude was stationed at the military base in Fairbanks and had been for a few years.
Got it.
So I asked this dude, like, what do you do during the winter? Because especially in like interior Alaska, winter is very long
and
it's very cold.
Yeah. For the record, we're coming to you from Minnesota, which is long and cold and probably doesn't even remotely hold a candle to Alaska.
Well, and also we don't have a full month of darkness. Ugh. Like there is a month in the winter where the sun does not rise in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Nope. No, thank you.
So,
Bye. I'm out.
So I was just curious, like, what during that time where most people would probably just kill themselves, like, what do you do to not?
Yes.
So this dude was saying, like, I started doing all the like typical outdoor winter stuff.
Okay.
Like I started skiing and I bought a snow machine or a snowmobile, as we call them in Minnesota.
Yeah, snow machine. I feel like a snow machine could be a lot of things. It could make snow. It could help you travel
I picture
on
a snow blower if somebody says a snow machine.
Blower, yeah, me too, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, but a snow machine to them is a snowmobile, as
or like
we know.
A machine that makes snow for
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, ski hill. Yeah.
So he's like, I just started like skiing and doing like hiking and doing snow machining. And he's like, and I this last year I started getting into doing search and rescue work. I was like, that sounds crazy.
Search and rescue, just like in the state of Alaska or in Fairbanks specifically, or
so Alaska. A lot of places in Alaska don't have police.
Cool.
Because
cool.
So
Alaska.
The state troopers basically act as police for like the entire state. There aren't a lot of like municipal police departments because
there aren't a lot of people.
There's basically one actual city in Alaska, like Fairbanks. We've all heard of Fairbanks, Alaska.
Right.
After Anchorage, it's probably like the other place that comes to mind in Alaska. 35,000 people live in Fairbanks.
How many people live in Anchorage? Do we know?
Like 300,000.
Okay.
But it's over a really big area. Like downtown Anchorage is not. It's like, I don't know.
Not that big.
For our frame of reference, like smaller than downtown St. Paul on a Sunday night always.
Okay.
So anyway, they don't have police in most places. It's really hard to get emergency services anywhere because you can't drive most places. Most of those services are coming from some sort of
centralized location.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
So getting out into the middle of Denali is not super easy.
Yeah,
you've got to fly there, whatever. So they rely a lot on search and rescue, which is often just like a couple dudes who are willing at the drop of a hat to go find somebody.
What?
Right.
Like what is your life?
Right.
What is your life?
So, well, that was my follow-up question. I was like, how the hell did you get into doing that? And why is that something you wanted to do?
I would imagine it pay well. I was about to say the sentence. I imagine it pays decently if there's like a rarity, which means there's probably like scarcity creates need. So maybe it's paid for well, but like also maybe not. But also like to search and rescue for anything in Alaska seems like not an easy job that people don't want to sign up for. So you might have to like pay people a decent amount of money to do that thing. I don't know.
It's just like a thing you can do.
It's a thing you can do.
Like bush pilots are search and rescue. Like a lot of them are like the last line of supplies for a lot of people. It's like radio, battery, like they are really important. They do search and rescue missions, but they don't get paid very much at all.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
To me, it sounded more just like I need something to do for 9 months out of the year. And this is like something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And is necessary.
And people need to be sought out and rescued.
Right.
Sure. And
I'm providing some sort of, public service for the greater good.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, I was like, that's crazy. How did you get into doing that? And he's like, well, this last winter, I was up there in May. So this was probably just like a few months prior.
Do you remember this guy's name? Can we give him a first name so we can talk about him? Or does he not want to have a first name talked about?
I'm going to leave the name out for now.
Let's give him a name.
Steve.
Search and Rescue Steve. Search and Rescue Steve. All right. So you're talking to Steve.
So Steve says he's out snow machining one day.
Yep.
And he was like 2 or 3 hours from wherever he had started. And this is in Denali National Park, which is a huge nature reserve around Denali / formerly McKinley Mountain.
Yep.
Lots of bears live in this area.
I would imagine. I don't know anything about Alaska, but I would imagine there are lots of bears there.
This is where the bears hang out.
Actually, I have some stats on that coming later.
Okay. So this dude is out riding his snowmobile. He's a couple hours from any sort of civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes across these two guys, father and son. The father is 77 years old, and the his son is like 40 or something. And these guys are bear guides, which
bear guides.
What's a bear guide?
That was my first question.
Take me to the bears.
Well, yeah, basically. So
they don't guide bears.
No,
they guide you to.
They're
bears.
So these guys are actually like dogs that help bears who have vision problems navigate the mountains.
77-year-old seeing eye dog named Steve.
Yeah, this guy was actually 11. In dog years. He was
more.
So he comes across these two guys who are bear guides. Bear guides apparently help people who want to hunt bears find bears to hunt. So these are guys who know. Yeah. My first question was, why would you hunt a bear?
I mean, I, as a guy who like doesn't hunt, I don't fully understand the concept of hunting like from jump. But I also feel like hunting a deer to me is like, well, yeah, I'm not going to die.
Right. Worst case scenario, what's going to happen to me?
Right.
Is not
the worst case scenario is I get bored as hell and bit by a lot of mosquitoes and like go the fuck home at the end of my day if I'm hunting a deer.
Worst case scenario is like a deer bucks you or something.
Yeah.
Which maybe you'll break a rib.
Which I have to imagine that doesn't even happen, right? Like people, I don't think people get attacked by deer, right?
Eat grass.
Right.
Yeah.
They're right. No matter what, they're not trying to eat you.
Right.
So these guys know the area very well. This dude is 77. He's lived there his whole life. And they were not out with a customer or whatever. It was just the two of them out trying to hunt bear.
They're surveying the bear area.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Man, that's unbearable.
I hate both of you right now. So
that was just a grizzly pun.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right.
I feel like you're just panda-ing.
that's not even a real, that's a marsupial.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's a bear.
No, it is a bear. It is
Pandas
a bear.
aren't marsupials.
No, it is a bear.
They don't have pouches.
It's not a science podcast. I don't know.
It's not a science podcast.
Oh man, we are going to do so many more of these puns. All right, go ahead.
So the way that you hunt bear, apparently, is this is winter, so bears are hibernating in a den.
Throw a hand grenade in.
You just go
Seems
pick
like
up some parts.
Seems like the safest way to do
Stuff
it.
them-
I killed it. Let's go home.
You stuff them in a pillowcase.
Wait, I'm sorry. Just really quickly. Like when you're hunting a bear, do people eat bear? This is probably a dumb question.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's like half sport. Like, look at this shit.
Yeah.
But there are people survivalists who live in Alaska
Who hunt bear.
who like they'll keep like a watchdog and like
Yeah.
bears will come and eat your dog. So if a bear comes to
Whoa.
your for real though, if a bear comes to your cabin and they're gonna eat all the other meat you have stored up.
Okay.
So if a bear comes, you have to kill it.
Yeah. Well,
And,
right. Yeah.
and once
yeah.
you kill it and skin it, that's enough meat to help you survive like half the winter.
Well,
Yeah,
that's like
I bet.
1,500 pounds of animal.
Yeah, depending on the bear.
Yeah.
That's an adult healthy bear. You're eating good for a long time. It's a lot of bear tacos.
Ooh, bear tacos.
Bear burgers. So the way you get a bear out of its den so you can shoot it is somebody runs into the den
Singing a song.
and
I'm just
you
picturing like
you just go in there and you're like
Bugs
booga,
Bunny.
booga, 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 booga.
I'm just picturing Bugs Bunny dressing up like a sexy bear with like lipstick on and like showing some leg. Oh, Mr. Bear.
I'll see you outside.
So for whatever reason, it's determined that it is the 77-year-old man. His name is Glenn. I actually know his name.
Okay.
We're gonna put it out there because it's on the internet and this is public.
It is on the
information.
internet?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool. Oh shit. So people are going to be able to search this?
Warning, do not, if you're not ready to see something crazy, don't search Glenn Bear Attack unless you're ready.
If you put Glenn two N's, if you only put one N, you get something different for some reason.
Okay.
If you put Glenn with two N's, Bear Attack Alaska.
Dude, I'm doing it right now.
But it's this is
Careful.
yeah. Be
Is
careful.
that the one that you showed me as soon as we opened it?
It is.
Oh, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
All
brutal.
right. Okay.
Not-
So
All right.
if you
safe
want to
for
see
work.
some entirely,
Whoa.
yeah.
Whoa.
Anyway, Google that if you want to see some wild shit.
This is why we're doing this question, by the way, because this shit is crazy.
All right, so Glenn, the 77-year-old bear guide, runs into this bear den,
Okay.
and we're talking grizzlies, by the way.
Yeah.
Runs
Which we'll talk
in
more about later.
and
I've
scared.
never seen anyone so excited about stats.
Dude, it blew my mind. It
You're
blew my
totally
mind.
all right, we gotta get this fucking
Okay,
story
all right,
out.
get the story. Go.
You can tell your stats in a minute.
No, I'm just saying. All right, go.
He runs in there, scares out the bear. The bear has been sleeping for 3 months, and some dude just ran up in its house yelling at him.
You're right.
Bear's not really into it.
I imagine so.
The bear starts mauling the ever-loving shit out of Glenn.
I also imagine so.
So this bear comes at Glenn. He shoots it twice. Bear doesn't really mind.
Sure.
Bear gets on top of Glenn and just starts going to town.
Yeah.
Eventually, the other dude, his son, whose name I don't remember, manages to shoot the bear off of Glenn. So he kills the bear.
Let's give his son a name. Dave.
Glenn Jr.
Dave, Stephen, Glenn. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. Glenn's getting his face ripped off by a grizzly.
Woof.
Dave is shooting at said bear. Does the bear need a name?
Let's call him Bear.
Okay. Dave is shooting at the bear.
No, Bear. Dave is
Dave is
shooting
shooting
at Bear.
at bear
The bear's name is Bear.
and eventually kills bear. R.I.P. bear.
Yeah. All right.
R.I.P. Harambe. And
Around Bear.
Bear.
so bear is dead. Immediate threat neutralized.
Yes.
Goes over to look at his dad.
Oh
Glenn.
God,
Glenn's entire face is gone.
dude, I can't. Can
And
you?
I don't like that sounds like an exaggeration, but if
No, I saw
this
the-
would be the point in the podcast where you might want to Google Glenn Bear Attack Alaska.
You also might not want to though.
Yeah, warning, it's extremely gruesome. Like, I can't convey to you how gruesome it is.
It's pretty grisly.
No matter what I say, you're going to be surprised.
Oh, dude. I did it again. Holy shit.
So hold on. For those of you that are for those of you that
also,
are Googling,
Glenn, if you're listening, I'm sorry we're laughing.
No, okay. This story can be told because Glenn is okay somehow.
Man.
Glenn did not die. He's fine.
No. Glenn is not okay.
So if you're Googling this right now, if you're putting this in your Googler, there's one, you're going to see two pictures. One is a close-up of a man that literally, it's just like a red mush where his face should be.
With an eyeball.
That one's going to immediately get your attention, as Ryan has just discovered. If you look at the second photo, it's a man sitting on a snowmobile next to a dead bear. When I first looked at that photo, I thought it was a dude with a ski mask on. But if you zoom in, that is just a human being with no face. There's just like a brownish, reddish, like oval where his face should be. So that the bear literally ripped his entire face off. Like his eyes are gone, his nose is gone, his mouth is gone, his ear is in his hand. He's holding his own ear.
Can you see that in the picture? I'm gonna throw up in your fucking recording studio right now, dude.
Just throw up off the mic.
No, it's gonna be for effect.
So Glenn is alive, but he's literally missing his face.
Okay.
His first thought is, prop me up next to this bear and take a picture.
I'm gonna want to remember this shit.
Right. So
even though I don't have eyes anymore, I'm not gonna be able to see this.
He's got one.
Just show my grandkids.
He's got one down like by where his chin used to be.
Dude.
So this is the point in the story where Steve shows up.
Yes.
So he's snowmobiling along.
Snow
machining along
and
in
also,
the middle of nowhere, Alaska.
For the record, Steve was not called on a search and rescue
He was not
mission,
even working.
even though this is what he's doing.
No.
This is what got him into it.
He was not even working search and rescue yet. He was just out like killing time on a Saturday.
Shit. Okay.
This is what got him into
He
the
was
field.
like, I don't have shit to do today.
Shit.
I'm
He
gonna
was
just
like,
go.
I'd like to see more of faceless dudes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
This was his answer to
help more faceless dudes.
This was his answer to why did you start doing search and rescue? Was this story?
This dude is a nutbag.
So Steve comes across where he thinks he's going to see no people. He's just out snowmobiling around.
Yeah.
He comes across a 77-year-old man with no face.
Ugh.
There's blood everywhere. There's a dead fucking 1,500-pound grizzly laying on the ground. And then there's this like 40-year-old dude. The other part of the story is that so Glenn and Dave rode their snowmobiles out to where they found this bear.
Right.
One of their snowmobiles broke down.
Okay.
So they now have 2 snowmobiles for 3 guys. And they're 2 hours from the next like closest anything.
Right.
Steve comes across these guys. He's like, all right, you're still alive somehow. We've got to get you to help.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a snowmobile. If you did, you wouldn't be able to drive it because you can't see anything.
You'd run into a lot of trees.
You'd probably drive
faceless and bleeding out.
You'd probably drive right back into that bear den.
Yeah.
So Steve has to throw this faceless 77-year-old man onto his snowmobile and drive for 2 to 3 hours back to the lodge that they had started from. And then they have to wait another 3 hours for like
how did this dude not bleed to death? Like I have
no idea.
I have like there's
got to be partially the cold, right?
Oh, that's a good point, actually, that you're so cold. Well, yeah, because
we're getting into science territory again. Where
that's okay.
I have no idea what
we can be stupid about science, but I would imagine, like in any cold temperature, blood's still gonna freeze.
So that would actually like.
Oh, I don't know if it freezes, but it's not as
well. If it's exposed, it would.
Blood freezes.
If you don't have
a liquid, right?
Yeah. Well, no, though, because you're pumping new blood.
But I'm saying, like in the same way that
the
blood,
exterior.
Well, yeah, like in the same way that like blood coagulates by like creating a barrier at the edge. If your blood is no, I'm serious. Like if your blood is
just barrier.
Oh, God damn it!
His face got a little bit barrier that day.
Oh no! But if your blood is freezing on its way out of your face, I mean, if you're in Alaska, it's what it's definitely
he's
below
77.
freezing.
How much blood did the guy really have?
Enough, apparently.
Do you have less blood when you're old? I don't know what that means.
You run out, right?
Do you?
That's why you die.
It's a finite source.
That's why you die. You just run out of blood.
oh, oops, I'm out.
But that is the amazing thing that he didn't bleed out. There's got to be something about maybe the way that the bear was attacking him.
Well, I would also imagine you don't have main arteries and veins in your face. Like I would imagine if dude had gotten under his jaw and gotten like to his neck,
that's
he
the
probably
crazy
died
thing
instantly.
though, because he's like within an inch of his jugular and within an inch of cracking open his skull, and his brains fall like an inch in any direction, and this dude is just out of here.
Sure,
that bear wanted to fuck him up as badly as he possibly could while still living.
Yeah, and got right to that face. Woof.
So that's basically the story.
Okay, wait. That's not the story.
He barely had any face left.
They got back to Anchorage, or not Anchorage, Fairbanks. They were in Fairbanks?
I don't know. I met this dude in Fairbanks. This was somewhere in Denali, which is anywhere of like 1 million square miles.
I believe.
So I don't know.
Oh, God, I got the picture again. I keep looking back at my computer and fucking up. Oh, God.
Control W, dude. Get that tab out of there.
I meant,
I'm going to make that your background.
Is it potentially Juneau that happened around?
No, I mean, Denali is like the park. There are no cities for like millions of acres. So they're just somewhere in.
I think part of what's going wrong with my Google right now. Oh, nope. A 77-year-old bear hunter is recovering from injuries suffered when he was mauled by a grizzly.
Does it say where specifically?
Oh my God. Wait. Okay. Hang on. When were you in Alaska?
Middle of June.
This happened in April of this year.
Oh shit.
This happened, the news article on KTVA, which is Alaska's fucking news, happened. This article was posted at 8:31 p.m. on April 18th of 2016.
That doesn't mean that's when it happened. That's just when the article was posted.
A 77-year-old bear hunter is recovering from injuries suffered when he was mauled by a grizzly. Alaska State Troopers on Monday identified the hunter as Glenn Bone of Wasilla, Alaska.
Wow. Okay, well, there you go.
Troopers just after 1:30 p.m. took a report of a bear attack near
this dude
mile 68 on Denali Highway.
Had just experienced this?
Like 2 months prior, I guess.
Holy moly.
The bear was...
And then within those 2 months decided to start doing search and rescue work.
Oh, the bear was
like that
killed.
Had a positive outcome, positive effect on him somehow.
Wow.
The bear was killed by Bones' hunting partner, aka his fucking son.
Wait, what? Okay, so is his kid's name in the article?
No.
All right.
Bone was driven by a snowmobile to the Denali Highway. A LifeMed Alaska helicopter flew him to an Anchorage hospital.
Damn.
Wildlife troopers and employees of the Alaska Department of Fish and Game and friends of Bone removed the bear from the field on Saturday.
Imagine the patience you'd have to have. You know, you have
as a dying human being. You mean?
You know what just happened to you,
dude?
And you have a 2-hour snowmobile ride.
I would have cardiac arrested.
He said he was like. Steve said the dude was like cracking jokes. Like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have messed with that one,
this dude doesn't even have a mouth. How is he even speaking?
That was my first question.
Maybe he just heard like the tone of joking. It's like this guy behind him like,
oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
That sounds like jokes.
Oh, man.
It doesn't sound like trauma. It sounds like jokes.
I like this guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, good one, Glenn. Sounds like a Muppet, dude.
Yeah, it
does sound very Muppet-esque. So is the moral of the story that Glenn is alive?
Oh, yeah. He went John Travolta on the bit, and they gave him a new face, and he's
I like how the moral
he's alive and kicking.
Not the moral, I guess.
What have we learned? Well, Glenn is alive. So if you feel like running around
the moral of the story is Glens are invincible.
Just change your name. Just change your name.
Once again, we're getting into the realm of science here. Pretty sure Glens are invulnerable.
Holy shit.
Only with 2 ends, though.
Man. Brutal.
All right. So there was the impetus behind this episode. What bear facts could you barely wait to share with us?
Oh God! I mean, I know I made the first one.
Just give us the bear necessities.
I hate everything about all of these bear puns.
I really think
like I want to stop until we put a moratorium on bear puns until we like finish like
until you blew us out of the water with your bear puns.
I was gonna say
die in a fire.
I was gonna say
die in a fire.
The problem with bear puns is that there's only 2 of them. Like there's bear and there's grizzly. There isn't really any more.
And even those two are kind of like polar opposites.
Oh, damn. I stand corrected. There are now 4.
Dude! God damn it.
All right. I'm done for real.
I guess.
Hit us with the bear facts.
Okay. So to go back to like the question spawned by that horrifying story. What if you were attacked by a bear?
What if you were Glenn?
What if you were Glenn? I don't know. I have a wiki article that I'm going to pull up. It's not a Wikipedia. It's a WikiHow article, which is so much worse than Wikipedia.
Yep.
And has the most hilarious bear attack illustrations I've ever seen in my life on it.
We'll put those in the show notes.
We will put them in the show notes so you can link to them, and I'll just briefly discuss it. That discusses like the what you should actually do shit. But I think it's interesting to know based on this specific attack and related to that picture that you may or may not have seen of Glenn's face. I think we'll link.
Or lack thereof.
Or lack thereof. I think we'll link to it in the show notes, but I don't think we're actually going to put it on the site. Because if you want to see it, you should see it. But like, we're going to make you click to see it.
You don't want to spring that on someone.
Yeah. Oh, cool episode. Oh, God. So what I think is interesting. All right. What do you think? What do you think the largest bear in the world is?
Grizzly?
It is grizzly.
Like by
mass.
Okay.
Oh, like what's the actual weight of it?
Yeah. So
like 1,800.
Yeah, they say 14 here.
Okay.
And roughly a potential height of up to like 6'8",
and that's
when it's
average.
on its hind legs.
That's average.
That's not average, actually.
That's like the record.
That's like the top end. So basically, the way that this says it is between 220 at their like youngest to 1,400 pounds, and at their tallest, they're roughly about like on their hind legs 6'8".
Okay.
So in contrast, the American black bear averages, so at about an average, is only like 240 pounds. And I say only.
Really?
Yeah. And I say only in the way that, only that's like a large grown man. I mean, 240 pounds is a very large grown man.
Yeah, but it's also like 15% of a fucking grizzly.
Right. The Kodiak bear is far and away the largest bear that exists in the world. I mean, apparently like full grown polar bears can get up in like the 900s range.
Okay.
But they're not like, they don't hold a candle to a full grown male Kodiak bear. Kodiak and grizzly are apparently the same thing. I went down a real K-hole of trying to figure out brown bear, Kodiak. Apparently like brown bear is like an umbrella name for a lot of different types of bears.
It just means like a bear that is brown.
Not like purely based on color,
okay.
But yes,
but it's like not like a scientific.
Not exactly. Okay. But like Kodiak is a type of brown bear, and there are different types of brown bears that like only exist in Asia and only exist in like other locations, whatever. But like Glenn's story makes a lot of sense because in Alaska there are 31,000 grizzly bears in the state of Alaska, which granted Alaska is fucking huge, but like the chances of you running into one if you are parlaying your ass out into the middle of fucking Alaska
and running into caves.
Well, yeah.
And
also, if you're seeking them out, you up
Yes.
your chances a little bit too.
You're a little more aggressively trying to find a grizzly bear. But see, okay, so this is what it doesn't make sense about me to Glenn and his whole thing. And like I know that like there are not a lot of black bears in Alaska. Black bears are much more readily found in North America, in like Canada, in like the lower US.
So just real quick, so brown bear is like not a specific species. Is black bear? Like
black bear is a specific species. So,
okay.
Yes.
And that's their actual name.
The American black bear is what they call it. And it's all across North America, in Canada and the United States.
Okay.
And just to contrast it, so there are, and these are estimates, and like apparently this shit's pretty hard to track. Actually, like there's not a lot of good data on this because they can't really know.
Most people who have studied bears have gotten eaten by them.
most people who study bears don't have faces anymore, so they don't write a lot of papers. But apparently in North America as a whole, there's about 900,000 black bears compared to about 200,000 brown bears. And that includes other species of bear outside of the grizzly bear specifically.
Okay.
So fewer grizzlies, fewer brown bears, but still a lot of them. And in Alaska alone, if there's 31,000 of them, I kind of feel like if you're like out and about,
that's like if the entire city of Fairbanks were bears. What if the city of Fairbanks was bears?
what if they were all bears?
Even like the buildings and stuff, just all.
Yeah.
I think that city would have trouble being a city anymore.
I think it would barely qualify as a city.
Oh, Jesus, dude. And you did put the marsupial one in there too, because you said koala. Holy shit. It's almost as if you had that written down, and I know you didn't, but I
definitely did not.
That is awful.
I had zero notes for the show other than that story about Glenn.
Awful. I did find a website, by the way, which I don't understand why it exists, but it does. And the whole MO is called Ask a Bear.
I looked at that site.
Did you find that?
Yeah. That one and wiseaboutbears.org.
Also this. But apparently someone thought it was a good idea to create a website where, like, if you had any questions about bears and bear attacks, they would just be like, just ask a bear. And then I'll write from the first person persona of a fucking bear.
You guys ever mess with the Twitter account, I am a bear?
No. I have not.
Oh man. All right.
Tell me more.
Go on and I'll pull up the Twitter account. It's gold.
So I guess part of what I was wondering, so like you told me the bear, fucking goddamn it. I was just going to say the bare minimum, and now I'm like really, really upset about the fact that I even had to say that sentence. You told me that you talked to a dude in Alaska who interacted with the dude who had a vicious bear attack, which is like the extent of knowledge I had before going into this episode, being like, all right, don't tell me anymore. I just want to like know, I want to hear the story like on the podcast. So I did a lot of looking into this without having knowledge of that specific story. So I looked into like bear attacks as a whole. And part of what I wanted to know was like, why the fuck do bears attack people? And granted, in Glenn's story, if you run up in their motherfucking house, I think you're probably going to get attacked by a bear.
Because that bear was justified in its actions.
1,000%.
Grizzly bears don't want to be found. I mean, they're not hunting.
That's why
people.
they hide in caves for
and a lot of the national parks material.
Into them, that demonstrates how common they are.
Right. And a lot of the national parks material says that like there aren't really in any capacity, not in any capacity, but in like the rarest capacity, there aren't predatory bear attacks, whether it's brown bear or black bear. They're not predators for people.
I've actually heard the opposite about black bears. I've heard grizzly bears are very territorial, and if you're getting attacked by a grizzly bear, you probably ran into its house with a shotgun, or you got near its babies, But that black bears, if they are hungry enough, will try to kill you and eat you.
I guess I'm not saying that's not possible, but what I read was basically that like even though that's a possibility, that the most attacks are related to like walking into a situation with a black bear where you didn't want to be there, or you were like, oops, sorry that you were eating a deer right now and I came upon a clearing where you were eating a deer, I'm gonna fucking run away. And then that black bear was like, no, you're not, because I'm gonna eat you too. So I don't know. I guess maybe it's I don't know.
That's still fairly aggressive though, because that's like you're not posing a direct threat to it.
Right. I guess maybe more what I'm saying is from everything I've read, it's not like black bears like hunt a group of people. No. Like black bears are not like hunting groups of human beings.
Bear attacks on humans are extremely rare in general, are they not?
They are because for the most part, bears don't necessarily eat meat. They do, but they're omnivores. They eat a lot of twigs and berries and leaves and shit. They also eat meat. Yeah.
They eat sticks?
Yeah, for sure. 100%, dude.
No. Nothing 100%. Eats sticks.
You don't eat sticks.
Of course you eat sticks.
Termites eat sticks.
Of course you eat sticks.
Termites are not bears. Here's the question.
Yes.
What if termites were bears?
Termites were bears? Yo, dude, you got termites.
So much worse. Bears are so much worse than termites.
Real quick interjection.
Yes, sir.
Tweets from a single bear on Twitter.
Great. Here we go.
2 days ago, I am a bear. Nothing has eaten me yet, but that does not mean something will not want to eat me later on. Anything could eat anyone, anytime. I am a bear.
You got to close it with just reaffirming your species.
Hello, IamAbear.com, by the way, if you want to check out more tweets from a single bear.
Just to contrast consumption, so a black bear needs to consume about 20,000 calories a day.
Sorry.
What?
I clicked on helloiamabear.com. Is a blog maintained by a bear.
So more first-person bear. Ask a bear.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing on the internet.
All right.
His most recent blog entry from just yesterday, it looks like, is titled Product Review. A thing I found in the dumpster near the fence with the hole in it that I fit through.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Gold.
I am a bear. Just reaffirm your species whenever you need to. I am a bear.
All right. Sorry.
No, I'm
good. Done.
You're good. You don't have to be done. We're here for it all. But I just wanted to, okay, so talking about like diet and shit, because this is one of the things I thought about, like when a bear attacks a human, whether it's predatory or defensive, what are they doing and why are they doing it?
Sure.
So black bears consume about 20,000 calories a day when they're putting on weight in preparation for hibernation. So they hibernate during like the fall and winter months. It's usually like 3 to 4 months. And during like the summer and early fall time, like late summer, early fall, for roughly like 2 to 3 months, bears are consuming like an insane amount of food. Everything.
Can I ask a quick question about hibernation?
Sure.
And this is just,
I don't know if I'm going to know it, but I'll totally fake an answer.
We could ask a bear.biz.
That's true. Well, so this is just an area of ignorance for me.
Yeah.
When any creature hibernates, it's not is it a 3-month nap? Or is it just 3 months of being in a cave, most of which is spent sleeping?
The latter is as far as I understand.
It's not like
they're not like
the ability to
entirely
like, kind of half die.
No.
Well,
sleeping for
some animals do though, right?
But they're not like they have to like piss and shit and shit.
Not all animals have to though.
Not eating or drinking.
Like some amphibians can literally just like turn themselves off.
I guess that's my question.
Okay,
I don't think so.
Now I don't know.
In the case of bears,
now the answer that I told you I promised you I would fake for you is probably no.
This is another case where listeners are screaming at you fucking idiot!
You fucking moron!
Bears don't have an off switch. God damn it!
If they did, Glenn would still have a face because he would have flicked that off switch.
The bear found Glenn's off switch.
Evolutionarily, it would be hard to find bears off switch if they had one.
That's true. But as far as I'm aware, I feel like bears are still like stirring and moving a little bit and like doing some things because they also have like cubs at that time sometimes too, right?
Okay.
You seem like you found something.
I just Googled what is hibernation.
Okay. Well, that's a start. That's more than I know. So.
Hibernation is a state of inactivity and metabolic depression in endotherms. I'm already lost. Hibernation refers to a season of heterothermy. Jesus, Wikipedia.
Don't blame Wikipedia for you not knowing words.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Great point. It's characterized by low body temperature, slow breathing and heart rate, and low metabolic rate.
So it is kind of like a self-induced coma.
Okay, sure.
No, hold on. Oh. Although traditionally reserved for, quote, deep hibernators such as rodents,
okay,
the term has been redefined to include animals such as bears and is now applied based on active metabolic suppression rather than based on absolute body temperature decline.
Sure. Okay.
So it sounds like they're able to just lower their activity.
But they can't decline their body temperature.
To a point where they don't, and lower their metabolic rate to a point where they can survive without like
with their
eating.
fat stores.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the way that they get to those fat stores is for black bears consuming 20,000 calories a day, which is 11 to 18 pounds of food every day for the couple months leading up to their hibernation period. For grizzly bears, who are massively larger than black bears on average, they require closer to 58,000 calories a day, which is more like 30 to 50 pounds of food every day in their preparation period for hibernation.
That's like eating a whole Rottweiler.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Every day.
Yep.
Like whole.
Yep.
So adult bears can, this is again from the Wikipedia article on hibernation.
Mm-hmm.
Adult bears can, however, lower their metabolic rate 75% below their normal rate. And most northernmost bears will neither eat nor drink for periods as long as 8 months.
This is kind of like what people attribute to like monks. People say that, you know, if you think hard enough, you can meditate yourself into a lower metabolic rate.
Or what if monks were actually bears?
Or what if bears are actually the most spiritually advanced beings on the planet?
Yikes.
Yeah, they're not hibernating, they're meditating.
So they're going up to 8 months without food or water.
I don't think 8 months doesn't seem right, though.
Well, but they have food and water. It's just
that they choose to not go get it.
Yeah, no, it's they carry it on their body, and then
they're not eating or drinking for 8 months.
It's not going through their mouth.
Right.
It's already in their body somewhere. It's like camels, right?
Yes.
what if bears had humps?
They do, right? I mean, I
don't know.
Ostensibly, I don't think they're like as visible as camel humps, but like
I think they are. Seriously? When a bear is preparing for hibernation, they get this huge fat hump on their back.
Whoa,
that's like what they access while they're hibernating.
Whoa, yeah. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up while we're on our break. We need to take a quick break here.
Just don't search bear hump, but you get a bunch of scenes from The Revenant.
And it's gonna be Leo having sex with a bear. Well, actually, you know what?
I mean, unless you're into that, then go nuts.
That's your thing. Search away and see what's what.
I'm not trying to lose all the bestiality listeners.
Yeah, for real. Spencer is furiously searching this topic. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about another bear attack outside of the Glen attack with a black bear, not a brown bear. And we're going to talk about some more stuff about how to actually survive a bear attack should you ever get in that situation. We'll be back in a quick second.
We want to hear from you. Send us a message. Email hi, that's hi, @whatifpodcast.com. Or leave us a voicemail at 612-246-4614. And now, back to the What If Podcast.
Hey, welcome back. This is the What If Podcast. My name's Eric Mayson. And I'm joined here by my good friends Spencer Worth Davies and Ryan Copperman.
Oh my God.
It did. It did.
Thank you so much. That was like a really good bring back.
Cool, yeah, well,
do you do this professionally? Because it fucking sounds like it, bud.
Well, it depends on
the definition.
I got nothing.
No, it doesn't. You have everything. And I love you. He's right, and we are back. This is the What If Podcast. Thanks, Mason, for introing us.
Got you. Thanks for hitting your pop filter.
Stop punching your fucking microphone, bud.
I can't help it. I hate it so much. I just want to fucking hit it. No, we are back, and if you're mad about me punching that sound filter, that pop filter, and you want to tell me that you're mad, we have a couple ways that you can do that. We have a couple ways that you can tell us a lot of things, actually.
Killer segue, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I almost fell off my segue, but then I didn't.
Nice.
You can hit us up with an email at hi@whatifpodcast.com, hi@whatifpodcast.com. Send us a what if suggestion. Send us a guest suggestion. Send us a smart remark or a joke. You can tell us we're fucking idiots for all of the bear stats we've gotten wrong so far.
Send us pictures of your butts.
If you want to send us pictures of your butt, I guess that's a thing you can send us at hi@whatifpodcast.com. You can also give us a call if you want to tell us, if you're so angry that you want to
tell us about your butt.
If you want to tell us about your butt and you want to do it with your voice.
I'm mad about my butt.
I'm mad about my butt. I want to tell
Brian's microphone sounds like my butt.
Every morning, mad at my butt.
If you want to tell us how you feel, you can actually give us a call and leave us a voicemail. And if you are angry about my butt, your butt, our butts.
What's that phone number, bud?
It's 612-246-4614. That's 612-246-4614. Call, leave us a message, leave us a what if, leave us a smart remark. We might play you on the podcast. I think we're going to have that be a thing that we do. And we're back. And today
bear attacks.
That we do.
What is the thing that we do today, Mason? What are we talking about?
We're talking about what if a bear were to attack. What if you suffered an attack at the paws of a bear?
At the paws of a bear.
Paws and mouth of a bear.
It would be a pretty big bummer from not everything I've been able to gather. What
would you do? But how does this happen? I mean, how does one find themselves in a situation where they do get attacked by a bear, and what can one do if this happens?
Yeah.
So, quick story.
Mm-hmm. Please.
In Denali, which I believe is where Glenn was attacked.
That's correct. As far as my limited amount of research in the last
They
hour.
actually post signs that tell you what to do if you see a bear, and
shit your pants.
What sort of distances you should keep from bears.
Sure.
They recommend being no closer than 1,000 feet away from bears.
That's a half a mile.
Yep.
Or not
no,
exactly, but
that's not good math.
But it's close to half a mile.
Not really.
A mile's 2,600 feet.
No, it's not. It's 5,280.
A mile's 5,280 feet.
It's like almost 20% of a mile.
Wait, what's
it doesn't matter at all. They recommend you stay about 1,000 feet away from bears.
All right. What he said.
If being attacked by a bear, they recommend playing dead.
Isn't it? That's just for grizzlies, right?
This is specifically grizzlies, yes. Right. Because I think that's primarily what type there are there. Yeah.
Right.
If you're being attacked by a bear, play dead. If the bear this is literally what it says on the sign. If the bear starts eating you, fight back. I don't know where you draw the distinction between
being attacked and being eaten.
Right. Like if it's paws only, just chill.
Sure.
If teeth start being involved, punch it. Like I don't know how you begin to fight back against a grizzly either. Right. That thing weighs 10 times as much as me.
Yeah.
I think I'm just out of luck.
Most of everything that I've seen is basically like preventative measures. It's like basically
stay the fuck away.
Stay the fuck away, or if you even get in this like the sight line of a bear, you should be as big and loud as humanly possible and like try to scare them away and like never run. You're supposed to like walk backwards while continuing to be like big and loud. They say if you have a jacket, you should like spread it out and hold it above your head and like wave it back and forth as you are loud and moving back because it makes
Bears
you appear
won't eat
bigger.
Cold people.
Yeah, exactly. But it's supposed to like make you appear visually more like wide and substantive to a bear, which granted I know it's fake as balls, but any port and storm, right? If there's a bear that's looking at you, like fucking act like a lunatic if you need to.
Bears don't eat crazy people.
I mean, good to know what things that you might consider logical to do in that situation are actually the cause of many people's injuries when they've encountered bears.
Totally.
Like bears can
run. Don't run.
Bears can climb trees instantaneously. Bears can huff up trees like in seconds. Bears can swim. That is another misconception.
Totally.
People will jump in
run in the water and they will drown your fucking ass and eat you on the shore.
They can swim really fast.
One thing I saw was that grizzly bears at peak speed, which they can't, obviously it's like similar to, well, they're not similar to cheetahs, but like in the same way that like cheetahs can run fast, but not for a long period of time. Grizzly bears, they can clock at 30 miles per hour for up to like 20 to 45 seconds.
Oh, thank you.
Like that thing can hoof it if it needs to. And if you start running, like you're not winning that anytime.
What's the average speed of like a human running sprint?
I don't even know,
like
but it's
way less than that.
It's super less than that.
Like half that probably.
I mean,
you're not making it.
No, you're not making it out the other side of that.
Unless you have a slow friend, you're not making it.
So to that end, there's an amazing campaign that the National Park Service did this year. Actually, it's the 100th birthday of the National Park Service. Let's give them like a very
shout out to parks.
Slow round of applause. But what they did, and this is, I don't know if this is specifically related to Yellowstone or if it's just related to like any national park as it relates to bears. And the fact that there are bears in national parks, as there obviously would and should be. But it's called the A Bear Doesn't Care campaign.
Whoa.
And
it's pretty solid.
It is. And we'll link to this in the show notes. But it's a series of posters that they have put forth. And they're all related to the things that bears don't care about.
Bears don't
transatlantic
give a fuck.
Trade.
Yes, those things, but more specifically, a bear doesn't care if you're just fishing.
What does that mean?
It's a picture of a fisherman who's fishing. They're trying to get inside of the minds of people who are in parks.
I would say necessarily a bear cares that you're fishing.
Well, maybe
you're eating his fish.
Yeah, if you've caught a fish, a bear cares.
Yeah, I mean,
you might even call that a Care Bear.
Or you might not, you motherfucker.
You might just like,
you motherfucker. But I mean, literally, it's this poster, and it's a guy who just appears to be fly fishing, and it just says, "A bear doesn't care if you're just fishing. Carry bear spray. Know how to use it. Be alert. Make noise. Hike in groups. Do not run." Is this
suggesting that a fly fisherman might think to themselves, I would normally be worried about a bear attack.
Dude, chill. I'm just fishing.
But I'm fishing.
I'm fishing, dude.
So I'm fine. I'm immune because I'm fishing.
Yes. Yes. Kind of yes.
I'm collecting the thing that bears love to eat.
Fishing would be so much weirder if you called it fish collecting.
Fish collecting. That's true. It's like a Pokemon trainer.
That's very true.
Also, don't play Pokemon Go in Denali.
Yeah, well, I would imagine that's not a thing that exists.
Carry Pokeballs with actual Pokeballs with you if you're hiking in Denali.
Yeah, and try hard as you can. So, but it gets weirder. The campaign gets weirder.
Go on.
A bear doesn't care if you just took its picture, and it's a picture of a photographer in a national park, and it's just
so
like
they're just trying
carry
to
bear spray. Know how to use it. Be alert. Make noise. Hiking groups do not run.
So they're just trying to tell you like how to not get eaten by bears.
I mean,
and they could only think of one word that rhymed with bear, and then they just didn't workship this at all.
A bear doesn't care if you painted its picture, and it's like a woman who was painting in the parks. This is like a national park service thing. A bear doesn't care how old you are. A bear doesn't care if you've been attacked before. Featuring bear attack survivor Jeff Brown, a dude who was actually attacked by a bear, is featured in one of these posters. And it says, a bear doesn't care if you've been attacked by a bear before. And this dude is just like chilling in a backpack, showing off his motherfucking bear attack scars, being like, hey guys, just because you've been attacked by a bear once doesn't mean you won't get attacked by a bear again. And he's like rolling up his sleeve to show his bicep scars from a bear attack.
I don't understand who this is targeted to. Like, who are these people who think that these things make them immune from... Like, hey, I painted a bear, therefore I won't get attacked.
I'm down with the bears now. It's cool.
I painted one.
I think granted, I don't think it's a smart thing, but I think what they're doing is they're saying like, it doesn't matter. You could get attacked by a bear, no matter what you're doing or where you are. Or
bear doesn't care how much money you
spend. That's not helpful information because I think people that like, yeah, obviously. Like the helpful information is what to do if you are around bears.
Well, and which is kind of what they're closing everything with. It's carry bear spray, know how to use it, be alert, make noise, always hike in groups, and do not run. So like one of the things that, and that's like at the bottom of each of these. I feel like those are all, the precursor is weird.
These are also kind of like reactionary, where it's like there's like carry a bear spray, but there's also things you can do to make sure that you don't encounter bears before you encounter a bear. But like, for instance, if you are catching fish in a place where you know there are bears, cook your fish near where you caught it. Do not bring it back to your campsite.
That's real.
Cook it because bears can smell the smell of cooking fish like a mile away.
Yep.
So if you catch a fish by the river, cook it by the river, eat it, wash your fucking hands.
Yep.
And then go back to your campsite. Do not bring cooked fish back to your campsite.
Totally.
Bring a bear bag. Hide all your food. Hang it up in a tree.
Right.
Hang your trash up in a tree.
Right.
You know.
One of the big ones I saw was that apparently a lot of people have been attacked by bears when they're hunting for other animals. And what they do is like they're in a group of hunters and they kill an animal that they're intending to hunt, but they're like, we're going to collect our hunting stuff once everyone's gotten their tag. So
the bear's like, thanks.
So they mark the location. Exactly. They mark the location. They're like, cool, we're going to be back in 30. They go find their homie. They collect the group. They go back to where they had the bear or not the bear. They go back to the deer or the antelope or the caribou or whatever the fuck they just killed.
It's like how to attract bears 101.
Yeah, exactly.
Like leave carcasses.
Stack up a bunch of dead animals that bears like
that they want to eat. And
do their work for them.
For sure. And so to that end, so there have only been, which only again is a relative term, there have been 18 fatal bear attacks in North America since 2010. So we're looking at about 6 years. Is this
data from like right now?
Yes, from right now. So to currently, there have been as recently as I think one of the most recent ones was literally like a month ago, not even. But there have been 18 fatal bear attacks in 2010. What that doesn't account for is the amount that aren't fatal.
Right.
Dudes like Glenn who were basically changed forever and got their faces ripped off by bears.
Does it give you total number of bear attacks?
They didn't, and I couldn't find it. And again, we gave you contact info. Hit us up if anybody knows it. But I would love to know that because I wanted to know. I was
also bear encounters. You know, my friend Tara literally last week was just biking in Oregon somewhere and came up against a bear. Saw a bear and had to bike the other way really fast.
Yeah. And like, what's the percentage? That's what I would really love to know is what's the percentage of people who either just have like I saw a bear saw me versus bear charged me versus bear attacked me versus bear killed me. Like, I want to know what that number is because I have no idea. And I wasn't able to find it.
Have you ever seen a bear?
No. And it sounds awful.
I haven't either.
It sounds awful.
When my family and I used to go camping at this place called Little Bass in Lake Michigan, in Michigan.
I take that back. I have.
And my mom used to drive this big black Ford Explorer.
Okay.
And we had a black bear follow the Ford Explorer around for like an hour.
Did you think it was a bear?
That's kind of what we thought, but I also think maybe that's like kind of insulting to animals.
Bears are pretty smart, are they not?
It's like, yes. That looks like my mama. No, I don't. I feel like they knew it was something different.
They just smelled that there were people inside, and they were like,
and or food or whatever.
Just like that's a weird thing that's not usually here.
A bear just had its equivalent of a UFO encounter.
Yeah, right.
But it followed us around for a long time.
That's crazy.
It had like a pink collar on it. I think it must have been tagged or something.
Oh well, that's the thing.
Just a stylish bear.
Yeah,
very stylish. Yeah. Swagging. So speaking of being followed by black bears or encountering black bears of any kind, this is the bear attack story that I wanted to tell. And it's not, first of all, this woman didn't die, which is great. Super glad for her.
Nice work.
Nice work. Way to be like Glenn and not die. Still, really, really terrible situation. And it's the circumstance of this bear attack that bummed me out more intensely. And it's also partially because this was super, super recent. So this was from June 21st of this year. So pretty recent.
Turns out bears still exist.
Turns out bears are still...
It's all happening in real time.
Still hitting up people if they want to. So this woman, Karen Williams, I mean, I can't even bury the lead. She's in New Mexico. I can't even bury
you said
the lead. I didn't even mean to, and I'm mad that I did.
We're just in the zone. With
I
bear
can't
now.
bury the lead. Karen Williams is in Albuquerque, and she's running a marathon.
Oh no!
And the marathon
Where?
In Albuquerque,
but like on a road
through the desert, like on a road through the desert.
Okay.
And it's apparently like brutally hot.
Already sounds like a bad idea.
Well, I mean, you're in Albuquerque, New Mexico in June, so it's already going to be brutally hot. And yeah, absolutely. It sounds like a horrible idea. She is 23 miles into her marathon when she crests a hill and sees a black bear and two baby bears. Oh, no. And the mama bear immediately uphill charges her and starts mauling her.
Wait. Is she the only one running this marathon? How are there not more people around?
So not a ton of people on the... I asked the same question, actually. Not a ton of people on the marathon as a whole. It wasn't like a super popular marathon in Albuquerque.
Because it was in the desert.
Because it was in the desert in June in New Mexico.
Turns out it was really just her.
Also, she's an older woman. I'm not gonna judge her because I couldn't run the first 3 miles of a marathon. She was at the very end of things. She'd been running for about 5 hours at this point.
Okay.
So most like I don't.
She had gotten away from the rest of the
pack was a little bit ahead of her. There were still people that were behind her. They say that there was still
And I suppose later in the race, people are gonna separate
spread
from
out
one another.
in general.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's basically dolo and comes over this hill and basically gets charged and mauled by a bear. After the attack that she survived, she said that the bear, quote, had a mean left hook after fracturing her right eye socket, ripping off her eyelid.
Yep.
But her injuries miraculously were not life-threatening. So she survived that motherfucker. So she tried to look around. Sorry, just really quickly. She's a resident of Los Alamos. She says, I tried to look around, but was having trouble seeing much, which I would imagine would happen after a bear mauls your fucking face. Mm-hmm. I tried to sit up, but was nauseated and my arms didn't seem to work right. Also, let's keep it real. After 23 miles of running anything, probably nothing in you at all works right. And then to get attacked by a bear, like what's worse in the world than running a marathon and being 23 miles deep and being like...
Then instantly realizing you're back in the food chain.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you're just going to get mauled. Yeah. It's going to go down.
So why did the bear stop?
It seems like when she crested the hill, there was a bear and its two cubs that had wandered sort of into the path.
No, but did someone
stop mauling her?
Yeah. Did someone else come along and
it doesn't really say.
It probably just felt like it wanted to disable her.
And it had.
And it did. Right.
Right.
And if it wasn't hungry or whatever, it just probably wanted to protect.
Yeah.
It says that. So the other crazy thing though is apparently what happened is she tried to fight back. and stay aware of her surroundings. But apparently after she did that, she did try to play dead. And an official in the area said that it's very rare for the person to play dead and for it to work out. The idea is to be as big as you can. So apparently,
I think that's true for black bears. Yeah.
So apparently she tried to fight back initially and then tried to play dead, and then the bears left. Okay. But apparently that is not exactly the best thing you want to do. Like, you want to stay upright and be as big and as scary and intimidating as possible.
Also, I've heard if this is also like me talking from relative safety in a room where there's no possibility of bears ever being here.
Sure.
But I've heard that black bears are known to do bluff charges.
Yeah.
Which is if they run at you, stand your ground and yell at it. Because if
it's just trying to scare you off.
Exactly.
And it'll run away.
And if you don't move, it'll be like, oh, this is a hard motherfucker. I'm not going to try to.
Yeah.
You know? But it's impossible to, I mean, we don't have to deal with, most humans on the planet don't have to deal with the notion that you could be eaten.
Yeah.
This is like the basis of our fears. I mean, if you think about all of the horror movies and horror novels and ghost stories and scary feelings you have when you're running upstairs from your basement at night, or like looking into a dark corner of a closet, like all of these
deeply
fears,
instinctual shit.
Right. Yeah. All of this shit that has driven us to write about like external, like aliens and ghosts and shit, because we don't have to deal with predators anymore. We've like assigned it to vampires and ghosts and all these other things,
right? You
know, or sometimes other humans. But the basis of this comes from having to look over your shoulder for things like lions and bears. Oh my, you know, and it's this like bizarre thing where we realize instantly. With sharks too, it's the same kind of situation. It's like, how could you even imagine how could you have the frame of mind to think to myself, like, what was that WikiHow article? Oh, punch it in the eye socket. That's right. You know, like your mind takes a back seat.
Totally. There's really, no way if a bear is charging at me, my first thought is to be like, yeah, what?
I'm going to get big. Right. Yeah, I'm going to get big and really like puff my chest out and get swole.
Which is why it probably feels really good.
Shit my pants and then try and run.
Totally. Which is why it feels good to have a canister of bear spray. Because even if it's not effective, it will at least make you feel like you have something you can do.
I did the right thing.
Right. Or like a 4-gauge shotgun.
And apparently, that's why I think like the National Parks poster series, like the number one recommendation they had was have bear spray, know how to use it. Because, like they weren't like clack sticks together and yell like a lunatic. They're like, fucking have bear spray. That's the best chance you have at surviving.
Right. Well, because the fear is so real, dude. I mean, even like I might sound like a little bit of a pansy saying this, but one of my first experiences being like really deep in the Boundary Waters, which is a big protected wilderness area up north in Minnesota and goes into Quetico in Canada. One of my first experiences being like really deep into it, where you're out of cell range.
Right.
There's no other people around mostly. And the first night that you're up there, and all I could think about was like bear.
Yeah, oh my God.
Every hike we took, we're, hey bear, we're clanging stuff together, you know. But the first night, sleeping in that tent, every noise you hear is a bear.
Oh yeah, oh like my God, I can't
imagine. It does something
to
your mind to like remind you you're a guest.
You just instantly went back like 100,000 years.
Absolutely. Right. And it's always there. Like it's like I said, it's there when you're running up the stairs in your basement, but it doesn't have any like basis in reality, which is why we have to think about ghosts and things like that.
Yeah.
But when you're out there, like a squirrel walking around outside your tent is like bear.
Yeah.
That's a bear.
Yeah.
Like it does something so irrational to your mind that you just have to be like terrified until you pass out. You know, it's like,
well, like and there's no other distraction from it either.
Right. I think that's why people used to have big bonfires and sing and dance and, you know, just like fight the night away. It's like you had to just like make a ton of noise. And, I don't know.
Well, and distract yourself from it too.
Right.
And you're creating an unappealing energy for them to come eat your ass.
Right. I mean, I don't know what the strategies are for dealing with like lions. You know, like in the plains, like where our species come from.
Yeah.
Don't. Yeah. Avoid doing that.
Close to bears. Almost don't. You're listening to the What If Podcast. One more time, I am Ryan Copperud.
I'm Spencer Worth Davis.
I am Eric Mayson.
We are here with Eric Mayson. We're going to take one more quick break, and we're going to come back and wrap things up. And we'll see you then.
Bear with us.
We are back with the What If podcast. I am Ryan Copperud.
I'm Spencer Worth Davis.
I'm Eric Mayson.
We are here with Eric Mayson. Eric Mayson, as we conclude episodes of the What If podcast, we like to have one more final what if question that we can ponder that is aside from the beautiful and terrifying and horrifying
world of bears
and bear attacks. So let's close that book and briefly open one more. Do you have a question for us? A what if question that we can all play with to wrap things up today?
What if you pooped out cotton candy?
That sounds painful.
You think that'd be painful?
I haven't touched cotton candy in a long time.
It doesn't seem painful.
Sometimes pooping is painful.
But
I think
but cotton is like soft and pliable and
it's not actually cotton.
Well, no, but I'm just saying like it's called cotton candy because it emulates a lot of those similar characteristics.
But it's also sugar and it's grainy and
that's
it's not actually that soft.
But if
you have to wash your butt every time.
I guess the question is this like you go to poop normal poop and cotton candy comes out?
Yeah,
or is this like we've evolved to poop out cotton candy?
I guess my question is like, yeah, like if I go eat a bunch of McDonald's and then I go to the bathroom later and like evacuate a bunch of cotton candy, what is that made of? Is it just purely?
Let's say for the sake of argument, it is cotton candy. It is what we know as cotton candy.
Okay, so there's no difference between the cotton candy that I get at the state fair.
Nope.
Has this always been the case, or is this just like suddenly happened one day?
I think you can entertain both thoughts. So like
because we would have evolved without bathrooms if it were the other way.
Or would it just be?
Wait,
is there a parallel universe somewhere where people shit out cotton candy and people at state fairs eat feces on a stick?
That's possible. Wait, when you so because
the whole idea behind disgust, is that it's all based in like what our ideas.
We're not supposed to eat that because it'll kill us.
Exactly, yeah. Right. But if you pooped out cotton candy, if cotton candy was your feces and it always had been,
right,
we probably would train ourselves to think that was disgusting. You would never want to eat that.
Yeah. Right? So I think in that case, the only thing that would change would be you'd have to wash your butt every time you pooped.
I mean, we kind of do, or we try to.
Okay, but like if your butt is covered in like wet sugar.
Okay, so then,
exactly.
I mean, I guess it's not much grosser than like
what poop is.
Poop
already.
Poop.
Okay, so there's one reality of you've always pooped out cotton candy, but what about the other one where you go to poop normal poop?
Does this happen to everyone, or is it like just me?
Just you.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Wait. Time out. That's my real question. So when you say, what if you pooped out cotton candy? You're saying that like, hypothetically, I wake up tomorrow morning and I start pooping cotton candy, but no one else is pooping cotton candy.
Sure.
And the cotton candy that I poop is
real cotton candy.
Real cotton candy.
Yeah.
I have a business tomorrow.
There you go.
No. I open a business tomorrow night, fam.
The FDA is going to come after you for that.
I think
we'll take that to court. I'm cool with that.
Hold on though, because you're going to go to the bathroom. You're going to sit down in the toilet.
Yes.
You're going to think you're going to take what you think is a fairly normal deuce.
Yes.
You're going to look down the toilet and not see anything.
Because the sugar's going to hit the water.
Yeah.
But let's say you feel something different. And you
yeah, but you're still going to look to confirm it. And you're going to have to like somehow watch yourself actually poop.
I was going to say, I think on the way out, this is getting gross. I think, it's
getting?
my fault. It's my fault.
Getting?
I think on the way out, you'd notice something feels different. You'd probably like look or stand up or something.
Yeah.
And you'd pull out.
Wait,
should we run back into a different question?
No, this is done, man. This is done.
I think I'm going straight to the ER.
This is in the canon.
That's the right answer.
I'm going straight to the emergency room.
Yeah.
Someone help me.
Either you who is concerned with your health, you're going to the ER, or Ryan, you're going to the fucking bank.
Yeah. Probably going to the bank.
I'm literally
cotton
selling
candy
this
doesn't
shit.
make money in the first place. No one has ever gotten rich selling cotton candy.
But what I'm saying is my butt is printing more money than it was yesterday.
At one bag a day.
Right.
You can make $2 a day.
I can eat a lot of food, my man.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Eat a lot of food.
There's no
and food costs money. This is a horrible business model.
That's true. You do have to pay money to create poop.
This is not just like energy still has to go in.
But everybody has to spend money on food.
But he's saying he would eat more to produce more cotton candy. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I guess
cotton candy would take like 10 cents to make. It's sugar and heat.
But there's the machines you have to buy and maintain.
Yeah, and this is why cotton candy is not a profitable business.
Well,
no one really likes it.
It's because it doesn't come out of your ass. If it came out of your ass naturally,
asscandy.com,
you wouldn't have to spend any of that money.
Jesus, I think that's enough of that.
That is plenty. I
apologize.
Plenty of candy poop for today. Thank you all for tuning in. One more time, if you want to get in touch with us, hi at whatifpodcast.com. You can also find us on the interwebs at whatifpodcast.com. And if you are so inclined and you want to give us a quick call, leave us a message, suggest a episode, suggest a guest, any of that.
Candy.
Talk about butt candy. We obviously do that now, so you can also do that with us at 612-246-4614. Give us a call, leave us a message, and we might play your voice on the show. Thanks so much for everyone tuning in. One last time, this has been the What If Podcast. I'm Ryan Copperwood.
I'm Spencer Worth Davis.
I'm Eric Mayson.
Have a good week.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the What If Podcast. For show notes, transcripts, and links from today's episodes, visit whatifpodcast.com.